Hey y'all, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. To start off the week, I'm just doing something super simple that I have been craving, and that is some beef quesadillas. I had planned on making a new recipe for like a street corn salad to go along with this, as well as some guacamole and chips, but I could not find the ingredients that I needed for either in my town, so I was pretty bummed about it, but dinner just got easier, so it'll be okay. We're just going to have these and we'll be completely fine. So I guess I'll go over the ingredients that's in front of me. Don't mind these clean dishes. I know it's kind of distracting, but real life. I ain't trying to have this staged perfect kitchen. Maybe I should, but you know, whatever. Anyways, so here I have just whipped up a quick little homemade taco seasoning. Don't feel bad if you want to use the packaged kind. I still do all the time. I have no problem with it. But I had a little bit of extra time, so I figured why not. So all that's in here is some kosher salt, black pepper, onion and garlic powder, some oregano, some ground cumin, and some chili powder. And then back here, I have a little over a pound of ground beef. This is 85% lean. You'll also need some tomato paste and some beef broth. And then over here, I saw this cheese at Walmart. I have never tried it before, so I figured I would give it a try. See how that goes. I mean, it's cheese, you know it's going to be good. And then these are the tortillas I'm going to use. So, oh my goodness. Yep, that just happened. But anyways, I'm just going to get all of this cooked together and assemble these quesadillas. I know this is a sad looking little plate, but you don't always have to have all the sides to call it a meal. But these did turn out really good. I just have a side of taco sauce and sour cream to dip it in. I honestly would have been a little happier if I used like a package of taco seasoning. I don't know what it is. Anytime I try to make my own, I'm just not as satisfied. So if any of you has a good homemade taco seasoning recipe, let me know in the comments. I'm about to throw together this Tater Tot Casserole. Today was one of those days where nothing sounded good. I browsed Pinterest for the longest time and nothing was jumping out at me. So I decided to pull out an oldie but a goodie recipe. I used to make this all the time when I first moved out on my own, and it has been a long time since I have made it, so I am looking forward to this. No, it's not healthy. I know that, and you know, it's okay in my opinion. So for the ingredients, you'll need a 32-ounce bag of tater tots. You'll also need about a pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast. I'm going to be seasoning mine with some pepper, onion powder, and garlic sea salt. You'll also need 3/4 of a cup of milk. You'll also need some bacon bits. You could, of course, cook up some bacon and crumble it if you prefer that. This is just, you know, makes it faster. You'll also need some cheese. I normally just use all sharp cheddar cheese, but as you can see, this bag is about half full, so I'm just going to substitute it with a little bit of this quesadilla cheese. And I'm just going to cook this on low in my crock pot for about 4 hours. And yes, I do have a crock pot liner in here. I get questions on this all the time. Yes, it is food safe. Google it. But I was going to get all this tossed on in here. So here's what it looks like once it's all cooked together. I'm telling y'all, if you have not tried this recipe, you are so missing out. It is one of my go-to comfort foods for sure. I always like to drizzle mine with some A1 steak sauce, or you could even do ketchup. I mean, I did serve it with some steamed Brussels sprouts on the side for some, balance. Up next is a dinner by Dad. I know y'all love seeing the things that he makes. So we just have some meatloaf, mashed potatoes, green beans and corn, rolls, and some fried apples. This is another one of my go-to comfort meals. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking for the longest time. And I do plan on filming some of his recipes here soon. So definitely be on the lookout. On this night, I made some potato soup. This is the simplest recipe, but it is seriously so dang good. Always a crowd pleaser. So, of course, you'll need some potatoes. I'm using some russets. I'm going to be cooking those in some chicken broth. You'll also need a can of cream of chicken, some sour cream, some sharp cheddar cheese, salt, pepper, onion, and garlic powder. And I'm just going to cook all of this over the stovetop. Now, you can't tell me that that does not look delicious. It always turns out so thick, flavorful. It is perfection. And to go along with it, I did whip up a cornbread in my cast iron skillet. I really like the Pioneer Woman's recipe. It's a non-sweet version, which is what I prefer. And if you are new to my channel, anytime that I follow a recipe, you will always find a link to it down below in my description box. That way you can get the exact measurements, print it out, whatever you want to do. I rarely ever make cornbread because honestly, I'm the only one that'll eat it in the house, which is such a bummer, but I'm going to keep trying because my kids have to like cornbread. But here's everything all plated up. I always like to top my potato soup with plenty of extra black pepper. Y'all already know. Some cheese, bacon, and some dried chives. And y'all are going to get sick of hearing me saying it in this video, but this is another one of my comfort meals. This week, I needed it. I deserved it. I deserved all the extra cheesy goodness. For the last meal idea, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm doing some steak Parmesan. So I have some cube steaks and a little egg wash over here, just some beaten eggs and milk, and then a combination of Italian breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese. I don't know why this angle looks so bad. It looks far away. My arms all up in the way. YouTuber of the year over here. I know, you don't have to tell me. But I'm just simply seasoning both sides of these cube steaks with some simple salt and pepper, and then I'm going to start breading these. So I'm just going to dip that into the egg wash, making sure to let all of that excess drip off, and then I'm just going to roll that around in that breadcrumb and cheese mixture, really pressing it in, making sure that every little inch gets covered. And then I'm just going to put that over to a plate on the side and repeat that. If you are not a steak fan, you can simply swap it for some chicken. This is the same recipe I used for chicken Parmesan. So I just have my skillet out with some hot olive oil. I have my temperature to a little over medium, and I am just going to sear that for a few minutes on each side just so they can get golden brown. And then I'm going to turn down that heat and just let those fully cook through the middle. And you'll know because the juices will run clear if you're new to cooking. Once those were fully cooked, I just put those on a foil-lined cookie sheet, and I pulled out some spaghetti sauce that I had sitting in my fridge. This is a roasted garlic version. I'm just spreading a little bit on top of each one, and then I'm pulling out the good stuff, some shredded mozzarella, sprinkling that on top. I do have my broiler preheating, and I'm going to pop it under for a minute to melt that cheese, and then top it with some parsley to make it pretty. And I'm not going to stop there. We're going to be serving this with some fettuccine alfredo, another one of my favorites. So I just have a big pot of boiling salted water, and I'm going to be dumping in some linguine pasta. I didn't have fettuccine, doesn't matter. And I'm just going to cook that until al dente. And then I'm going to make the best Alfredo sauce that you'll ever taste. All you need is some heavy whipping cream, minced garlic, Parmesan, butter, and cream cheese. And I'm simply just adding all of that into a saucepan. I did get this started like right before I put on those steaks. You don't see me adding the cheese here. I don't know what happened to the footage, but it's in there, I promise. And at the very end, I just season it with some salt and pepper. And I pour that over top of the drained pasta. I know it's kind of looking like Alfredo soup here, but hey, I'm not against it. But it does thicken up, so don't worry. At least you don't have to worry about it being all skimpy like some of these restaurants can be. That's why I love cooking at home. Anyways, so here's my plate. How pretty does that look? I just served it with some cheesy garlic toast on the side and a side salad with some Olive Garden dressing. I had to really slow down this clip to fit in everything that I wanted to say, so ignore the glitchiness. But that steak Parmesan tasted so good, but it did turn out a little bit chewy, so I'm going to post my recommendations down below in the description box to prevent that. But that's going to wrap up this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.